A great big spicy hello to each and every one of you. Hello, good Tuesday. We're here for lunch at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday, right here on rmconair.com. And you know, sometimes we stream from spicybusinesstalk.com. Today, it's probably going to be back and forth, but for the most part, we're going to be at rmconair.com. So every Tuesday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. If you want to follow along with us on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com Spicy Business Talk. Facebook.com Spicy Business Talk. It'll probably be on the screen in a few minutes. But if it's not, just head on over there. And you know, we have conversations. We have conversations about what everybody wants. Everybody wants more passion in their life, more energy, more money, more success, more happiness, more productivity, you name it, whatever everybody wants more of. And that's what we do on Diana's Spicy Business Talk. Yes, and in the seat today, you know the seat's an acronym for speakers, entrepreneurs, authors, and thought leaders. And in the seat today is one of the most sought after thought leaders, Dr. Ron Eccles. Dr. Ron Eccles is, Ron, I'm so glad he's here with us today. He happens to be on Skype. I think we're going to get him on Skype in just a few minutes, but I want to tell you a little bit about my friend Ron. He touched me like no other entrepreneur and thought leader has ever done. He is magnetic, and this is from experience. This is from listening, from interacting with him. What an amazing guy, and what a treat you're in for. So, if you didn't see our post, head on over to dpriceassociates.com. That's dpriceassociates.com, because you need to stay on track so you can get to the finish line. And Ron's going to be talking all about how to stay on track. There's a post that he created, we talked about earlier today, and he was saying he cracks me up with all of these great quotes that he has. Well, I'll let him get into some of that because I can't quote him quite like he does. But let me tell you a little bit about Ron. Dr. Ron is also known as the Success Doctor. As a professional speaker, author, success coach, MC, you should see him in action. Unbelievable. And he travels all throughout the United States, inspiring you and me and so many people that have the pleasure of coming in contact with him. Ron believes that we're all created to be financially free, to have a leaner, fitter, healthier body, to enjoy deep, loving relationships and a powerful spiritual walk. You see why I love Ron so much? Dr. Ron has 32 years of business experience as an entrepreneur, and he's practiced as a doctor of chiropractic. Go figure. I mean, he's got brains coming in and out of everywhere. Dr. Ron is passionate about seeing others reach their full potential, and he has created what he's called Everything Under Success Coach. So without talking about him, I'm going to bring him on. I want him to talk all about his amazing business. Dr. Ron, thank you so much for being on Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio today. It is a pleasure to finally get you in the seat.
Hey, Diana, it's so great to be here with you. I'm so excited. I wish I could have been actually in studio with you.
Me too.
A month or two going out to California, but unfortunately, you get me here. I'm in sunshiny Florida right now.
Yeah, well, we're both sunshiny states, and we're both sunshiny people, and it's so cool to really finally get you in the seat today. So, I just glossed over all the things that you do, all the successes that you've had. Tell us just a little bit more about you, about, why and how you've become so successful, and a little bit more about your background, Ron.
Well, again, one of the most encouraging things that I love to talk about in life is no matter where you're at, no matter where you come from, the sky is the limit once you believe what's possible for you. And I was one of those kids that was probably learning disabled. Nowadays they have nice terms for it. They called us stupid back then. And I wasn't one of the sharpest tools in the shed when I was in grade school and even through high school. As a matter of fact, in my 5-year class reunion, something had changed between high school and my 5-year reunion, and I had married the prom queen at that time.
Ooh.
We're now since married, but but that's a whole nother story. Anyhow, I would marry the prom queen, and I was in school to be a doctor. And I'll tell you what, people were besides themselves. They would just look at me puzzled because they couldn't figure it out. What happened to this kid who was the consummate underachiever, and how come he was on this path to what in their minds would have been more than I deserved? And I've got to tell you, it's been an incredible journey for more than, well, since then, it's almost 40 years, but since professional school, it's been over 32 years. And I feel so blessed to be where I'm at today. And one of the things that I love telling other people is no matter where you're at, you can really go much further than you ever imagined once you get a hold of the right principles and the right mindset.
Absolutely. And you know, if you guys didn't hear what Ron said, I mean, Dr. Ron, I have been in his presence so many times when he's in MC, when he's keynote speaking, and you know, this guy, he has got whatever you need in business. So figure out how to follow him around. So Ron, I keep calling you Ron, Dr. Ron. I know you're my friend, Dr. Ron. I don't want to forget that because you have earned that. How did Dr. Chiropractic come about? You're a doctor, a chiropractor. You orthopedics, neurology. What's all your specialties in your doctor background?
Yeah, well, when you graduate from chiropractic school, pretty much everybody is the same. Where we have a doctorate.
Yes.
And then because we don't do surgery and we don't prescribe medications, we have diplomate programs, these postgraduate programs you can undertake and get certified or board certified in. And they take a minimum about 5 total years to get one board certification. And in my profession, very few people even get one because it's so rigorous. I have actually 2 board certifications and 1 board eligibility.
Oh my God.
1 in orthopedics, 1 in neurology, and then I have a board eligibility in sports injury.
Oh, how cool.
So I was one of those guys who was never satisfied, and I always wanted more because I always felt my patients deserved the best.
You know, your patients are really happy, and they should be happy to have you. So I can see now how you are so successful, but how did you become... How did you decide to call yourself the Success Doctor? Because of all these things you've told me, of course. And what else?
Well, one of the greatest misconceptions people have, because I travel around the United States and even internationally now, and when I'm introduced as a Success Doctor, most people are kind of looking at this bald-headed white guy up there in a nice suit and fancy dress, and they think that it was always that way. And the reality of it, it was not. The reason why I'm termed a Success Doctor is because for more than 3+ decades, I've been passionate about studying successful people, successful businesses, and success principles because I wanted to become more successful. That's how it all started out. Yes. I wanted to be a more successful person.
So when you study, you learn, you teach, and you implement. So I get that. So Success Doctor is just a part of your thread. Cool. That's great. So how do you tell me about when you say Success Doctor, you want to inspire, you want to teach. Where does that go? I mean, how do you're on stage, you're an MC, you're talking about success principles. I mean, what you study, success goes deep. It goes, you can dive so deep into success. So do you have a core? Do you have a theme? Do you have something that you surround yourself with, like a foundation of your success principles?
Yeah. Well, let me go back to this. One of the things I love to do is I love quoting different things that are very thought-provoking. This one comes from the book of Hosea in the Old Testament, and it says, "My people perish for they lack knowledge or they lack vision."
Oh, I like
and
that.
That reminds me all the time. I'm sorry, was there a technical problem or?
No, I heard you. Did you say
Okay,
you went
just
back
wanna
to the book of Hosea,
Yeah,
and my people
it
perish
because they lack knowledge
because
or
they
vision.
lack knowledge
And
and
one of the
vision.
opening questions I have when I speak around the country is, how many people want to become more successful than they are now? And everybody raises their hand.
Crazy.
And I say, then let me ask you another question. Can you hit a target you cannot see? The answer is Probably not. I tell people, I say, listen, imagine me walking you into a middle of a field with a bow and arrow blindfolded, and I spin you around 10 times, and I say, okay, 200 feet away from here is a target. I want you to draw the bow back, and I want you to shoot it and hit the target.
There you go.
Well, most people would think, well, that's relatively preposterous because chances are they're never going to hit it. But the sad fact is that most people are going through life today exactly like that, blindfolded, trying to hit a target they can't see.
That is so true.
Because I asked them, well, if you want success, you have to know what success is, so your mind has a clear vision of it, and it can go to work at helping you achieve it. And when I ask the question, what is success, most people can't even define it. Well, they throw out different comments, different ideas, and I think you're in the audience when I've done this before. So you've seen the people that they're struggling to try to figure out what success is, and they're trying to come up with it right then.
Interesting.
Because they haven't really given any forethought.
I clearly see that, because when you challenge someone, people say, oh, I want to be more successful. I want to, I have things that I have a story to tell. So, but if you don't know what that is, how can you reach? How can you get there? How can you get there? So when you travel around the world, Dr. Ron, it's great to see you challenging people like that, because I've seen it. I've seen you get in their faces and really make them think about what it is that they want and why. So what do you think the biggest challenge is for people today? What is their biggest challenge? What's hindering them? What's the biggest challenge?
Well, I'm going to conquer that in just a second, but let me first ask you this question. Do you want to know what the definition of success is?
Oh, yeah, let's go back to that. That's huge.
Well, because that's going to bridge right into your perfect question. And that is, and here's how I define success. Now, the definition has to apply to both you, Diana Price, and it also has to apply to somebody in Zurich, Switzerland, or somewhere else on the planet.
Yes.
But yet it has to be specifically unique also for each one of you. So here's what the definition that I find works the best. It's anyone's ability to achieve one or more goals, to achieve an outcome, achieve an outcome or desired goal in one or more of the 4 areas of life. And these are my core 4. So you might want to, if you're out there listening right now, you might want to commit these to memory.
Write these down, you guys.
Your
Write
finance,
these down.
finance, your relationship, your health, your physical body, and your spiritual life. So your finances, your relationships, your health, and your spiritual life. Now, each one of us will tailor what we choose to be our desired outcome in each of those areas. My challenge, and that bridges right into your question perfectly. What is the greatest challenge I find out there? People have no idea what they really want.
Yeah.
When they talk about wanting better finances or more money in their lives, they can't even define what money is. Most people have no clue. Most people have no idea how much money they're going to need, what is going to be their cash flow they need every month to live financially free. How much net worth do they want? How are they going to create that money? How are they going to create passive residual income? And then we move into other areas like relationships. I'll give you an example. How many people, and I ask this question all the time, how many people here want to have the best marriage in the whole world for those people who are married? Or the best loving relationship to whoever, your children, your friends, your lover, whoever that might be? And everybody wants it. And then I ask them, how many people here have a written plan exactly what they want it to look like? They pictured it out and they know exactly what they want that relationship to look like.
How many hands to go up?
And I'm going to go back out to the premise. You can't hit a target you can't see. So until you can really map this out and get clear about it, and getting clear is the real key, people are not clear. That's their biggest challenge. They're not clear about what they want financially, what they want relationship-wise, what they want spiritually, and what they want as far as their body and health. I get into a room, and you're gonna love this one. I ask people, so how many people in the room here feel they could lose a few pounds and get in a little bit better shape? And everyone raised their hand unanimously because we're in America, of course. And we all have a problem today of our lifestyle is creating our biggest problems in our health.
That's so true.
So most people raise their hand, and I say, okay, well, let me ask you a question. How many people are interested in really achieving that? And everybody raised their hand. And I look at them and I go, well, I'm very disappointed. Because here's why. How many people have ever been interested in losing weight, getting in shape before, and everybody raised their hand? How many people here lost some weight and gained it back? Most people raised their hand. Most people get in better shape, then they get back out of shape. And so I begin to say to them, okay, here's where the problem is. The problem is you're interested in better finances. You're interested in better health. You're interested in better relationships. You're interested in a better spiritual life, but you're not committed. You see, the difference between being committed and being interested is very simple. When you're interested, you do only what is convenient.
There you
go. But when you're committed, you do whatever it takes to make it happen. And I'm going to throw in there morally and ethically to make it happen.
Ron, you hit all the nails. You just splattered. You just splattered all these things. So when people say I want, yes, you get to them. You get to the heart and they go, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. But commitment. Describe what a commitment is. I mean, a commitment is huge. I mean, it's being. You tell me. What is it? What do they need to do to be committed?
Yeah. I belong to several masterminds. These are very
there we go.
Very intense groupings of maybe up to 20 people. And I was at a mastermind and I was giving about a 15-minute talk. We call them TED Talks now. This has become the big acronym. And at the end of my talk, there was a gentleman in there who is Zig Ziglar's first certified Ziglar coach.
Oh, really?
His name is Howard Partridge.
Oh,
and Howard Partridge raised his hand and gave me the best compliment. He said it was one of the best talks I've ever heard.
Fabulous.
And I was ready to retire at that point because Howard's a pretty significant guy, and he's listened to Zig for all those years. And as far as I'm concerned, Zig was one of the best.
Wow.
And he said to me, Ron, how do you know when you're committed? And I had to stop for a second, and I said, let me think about that for just a minute. And as I was thinking of it, it just came to me. And I said, Howard, you know you're committed when you wake up every day and you're willing to do what you need to do, whether you want to do it or not. That's the difference between interested and committed. Committed people do what they need to do. They're in the gym pushing the weights, or they're on the treadmill, or they're on the road somewhere running. They're doing something to change their body, whether they feel like doing it or not. They're willing to make better choices when it comes to shopping for food or eating out. Mm-hmm. They're willing to, and here's one for me, let me just give a disclaimer here. I have made more mistakes, or as many mistakes as anybody out there as you can imagine. I am not perfect by any stretch, but I am committed every day to improving myself and improving the lives of my family and the other people around me, because I feel that's an obligation. Yeah. We have an obligation to live up to the full potential God's put inside of us, and I'm not stopping till it's done.
Absolutely. I hope that. So, go ahead. That commitment description is amazing.
Yeah, when you're committed, you're willing to get up and do what's necessary.
You are.
And despite the sacrifice, despite the pain, despite the cost, you're going to do it.
That's right. Because there's a thin line. There's a really thin line between being disciplined and doing the things that you know you need to do and seeing the outcome that you know you will get from that, versus it's the same amount of energy to not do it and not be disciplined. So I completely love that whole commitment thing, and it's not like, you say that, Ron, but it's not like people sometimes don't say, I'm committed to this and I'm going to do it, and they get started doing it, and they go on the track and they start doing it day after day after day, and then they fall off the wagon. But I've been committed. I've done it for 4 or 5 days. Have you ever heard? I think we talked about one thing. A habit takes 21 times, and if you get to 2, 3, or 4, you got to start over at 1 until you get all the way through there.
Actually, new research. Everyone has been talking about 30 days, 21 days. New research is showing that it takes actually much longer than that to create a full-blown habit. Now,
is it 45? What is it now? What is it now?
I'm not really sure. I know they're talking about to like 4 to 6 months.
Months.
But here's the thing. I don't want to really get it. I don't want to set a timeline for anybody.
Yes.
Here's what I want people to understand. I want you to understand that small, incremental improvements and changes done over long periods of time compound into massive, successful movements in your
Oh,
life. So the key is not to hit the gym and go crazy for
Right.
5 days, because then you're so sore after that, you can't stand it if you're not conditioned. But it's to rather just take it a little bit at a time. And you don't,
yes.
when you get off the track a little bit, or not the actual running track, but get off track in life, whatever you're trying to achieve, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Recognize that it's a normal cycle, and you just get back on.
Right.
Get back on track right away. Small incremental changes back towards your goal. Now remember, I'm going to go back to the beginning. How can you stay on task? Get clear about what it is you want. You've got to implant that in your head every single day, over and over again. Can I give you a great example for that?
Please do. Please. I'm ready.
All right. Well, as I said before, I was married to early on in life. I was married 20 years old, and the marriage lasted about 19 years.
Well, that's a long time.
Whatever the circumstances, we had 5 children at that time. My ex-wife decided to leave, had another relationship, and you know what? What was the most difficult time in my life became one of the greatest blessings for me. And it's not that I wish that upon anyone, nor that I wish I went through it. But when God put this new woman in my life, Johanna, and I think you've met my wife.
Oh, she's beautiful and wonderful.
We've been together for like 16 years, and I've got to say that I'm more in love with her. I'm more in love with her today than I was yesterday, than I was 16 years ago.
So nice to hear.
And it's not by accident, because and again, guys, you're listening to me right now. It's not in our nature. We are boneheads. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to building relationships. Women are natural relationship builders. Men typically are not. What I had to do is I had to realize that if I wanted to have the best marriage in the whole world, I had to get serious about it. So I've created, and I do this in my coaching, what's called a trans affirmation. Just my little hybrid of the word.
Affirmation.
Transformational affirmations. I just put 2 words together.
Cool.
Now, transformational means it's going to change you. An affirmation means to affirm what you really want. So here's what I had to do. I had to figure out what would be the ultimate standard I wanted my marriage to be, that I wanted my relationship with my wife to be. Now, for me, it comes as a Christian. It comes from the New Testament, from the Bible, where I repeat in my trans affirmations every day that I will love my wife the way Christ loves the church, that he was willing to die. Now, whether you're a Christian or not is not the point. The point is, if you get clear about what it is you want in your relationships or anything else, and then you create the right type of transformational affirmation, and you visualize it, and you repeat it, and you consistently verbalize this over and over again, your behavior will become consistent with this internal pattern you begin to develop. And that's why it's so important to verbalize it out loud and tell people, because once you commit to it inside your heart, and then you commit to it in public, you have its tendency to become more consistent with that behavior. And I can tell you, it has massively shifted my reactions and my behavior from when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and now in my 50s. When I would get angry, I would build a wall. And now I have this entirely new mindset, because the moment I realize that my wife and I have a conflict, and I realize I'm starting to build a wall to protect myself, I realize that I can't love my wife in the way Christ loved the church if I build that wall. So it immediately busts the wall down, and it causes me to react and act in a new way that I never did before, simply because of training over and over again. Now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. There's going to come times where I'm going to wall, but I'm going to constantly work at breaking it down. So I'm really good at not doing it now, but I'm not perfect.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That is an absolute. See, what you said is so important, because you're forcing yourself to speak in action, and when you speak it, it becomes clear. You've heard it. Other people hear what you have to say. Then all of a sudden, you kind of obligate yourself to do what you say, or you have to deal with not being transformed or affirming what you just said. I think that is so right on. So right on. So how then, when you talk about your commitment, when you talk about what'd you call it, a trans affirmation.
Trans affirmation.
Trans affirmation. I like that. Your trans affirmation has to do with what you authentically are allowing, telling, encouraging yourself to do, and committing to the change and affirming the change every single day. Is that kind of what it is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I want everybody to think about this. There is a one consistent voice you hear throughout your entire life, and it is the one inside your head.
Oh, yes.
And if that voice will speak powerfully into your life, it can transform your life in unbelievable ways. But also, I want to encourage people to do this. We haven't talked about it yet, is to control the voices outside that are coming in.
Yes.
In other words, right now, you have a show that's dynamically changing people's lives. You do coaching that dynamically changes people's lives. I know you.
Thank you.
But because people surround themselves with you and things they do, it helps them, that external voice, speak into their lives what they need to hear.
I get that.
Great song by Toby Mac, a Christian artist, and it's called Speak Life. And I listen to this song before I get on stage every single time.
Do you really?
As a matter of fact, I listen to it dozens of times. On the plane when I'm going somewhere, I listen to several. I have a grouping of songs that I listen to because I want to program my head to be able to deliver to people something that will change their lives. Yes. My goal is to radically change people's lives so they can live the best life they were intended to live.
That is just...
And it's about speaking life into other people's lives.
I love this conversation, and I forgot to take my first break because I didn't want to stop. We are going to be right back with Dr. Ron Eccles. Stay tuned to Diana's Spicy Business Talk. I can't tell you, we are putting you on track. He is putting you on track so you can get to the finish line. Thank you, Ron. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, are you tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pitbull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
Welcome back. This is Diana Price, and you're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio. It's a pleasure to be here every week, bringing you amazing, just awesome thought leaders and entrepreneurs and corporate executives. We have the who's who. We're just so fortunate to have the who's who in our seat every single week. And we want to also thank our sponsor. We want to thank our sponsor, Pitbull, for making this absolutely possible. This is I think this is my favorite. Well, the other one's my favorite. My favorite is Blueberry Pomegranate. Blueberry Pomegranate is my absolute favorite, but this one is my second favorite. Cranberry Pink Grapefruit. If you haven't tried it, it's not sugary. It has a great taste and a great pick-me-up, and I love it because, like Dr. Ron said, you have to work on your health, and sometimes when you need energy, you want the healthy one. So try Pitbull whenever you can. So welcome back to the show. We're having lunch, and we are not really having any calories, but it's 12 noon. Well, it's a little bit after that now in Pacific time. Can you stand it? I mean, when Dr. Ron speaks, you have to listen. If you haven't heard all the concepts that he's been talking about today, we're gonna get going again. So it's a good time to tune in and get the rest of all these great nuggets that you missed in the beginning of the show. Dr. Ron, welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for being here from sunny Florida. So sharing all your secrets. Tell us some more secrets. I know you have some insider secrets that you haven't shared yet. What are the top 5 insider secrets that we could talk about today that you could share?
Number one is I'm looking out my window and I'm going to, of course, the timing has to be the exterminator is at my house.
Are you kidding me? So you got an interruption there.
I'm like, I knew he was coming. So if he rings the doorbell, I'm not getting up. Don't worry about it. My mother will have to answer it. Okay. So that's not a big secret, but now the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
All right. Gosh, big secrets. Let's see.
Those
All right.
happen.
Well, let me share this. I just was alluding to a concept, which is to me the most powerful technique, the most powerful tool I could give anybody is a tool called commitment and consistency. Now, I've already described it to you,
Yes.
but let me go ahead and unpack it for just a minute and show
Okay.
you how you can apply it in different areas of your life. Now, I have a program that I teach. Actually, it's one of my membership-based programs that people can buy. It's called Triple Income Academy,
That sounds
and it's really about
great.
how to get people to say yes to you. See, we're all in business, and no matter what you do, even in life, we want to get people to say yes.
Yes.
Nobody likes
Yes.
getting no. We like getting
That's
yes.
right.
So using scientifically proven techniques, we can actually increase our number of yeses dramatically. And this one is the most powerful one that I know of. Not just about getting yeses from other people, but about getting a yes to yourself. I use this on me every day. Now, I've already shared with you one of the ways I use it. What I do is I set a commitment.
Uh-huh.
And then what happens if I create this commitment, the chances are my behavior will rise to the level of that commitment
Yes.
to meet it. It's
Yes.
it's the way we are built and we are designed. Now let me show you how we can use this externally. So I'll give you an example. I was just dealing with. I had a call up and actually had a when I finished my interview today, I got to run down. I'm putting 4 new tires on my wife's car.
Okay.
So I called a place that I had already been to once before for my mother. My mother had some new tires put on, and I got the guy who I had spoken to that time. And I contacted him, and I used this. First thing I said to him was, his name was Shay, and I said, "Hey Shay," and I described who I was, and I'm not sure if he remembered me or not. So Shay, the reason I'm calling you for tires,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of other people I've got access to, I'm calling you because I know you were so honest with me about giving my mother the best tires for the best price, and I know you'll do the same thing for my wife. So, and then I went ahead and I asked him about what kind of tire he would recommend for my wife's car. Now, if you're catching on here real quick, you realize I'm setting his commitment level.
Yes, you are. You're setting him up. You're setting him up to say,
What I'm doing is
I've got to give him the best
telling
price
him
now.
how I believe he will treat me.
Yes. Yes.
And I've got an increased chance of that he will treat me more honestly and give me a better price when I know how to create that commitment to him in advance. Rather than waiting for him to say, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for 4 tires. What's the best price you can do on this car?" Now I haven't created any commitment.
Right.
It's him against me. But when I create that commitment first, he'll rise. His tendency is going to be driven towards becoming consistent with the commitment that I created. He's honest and is going to give you the best price. Now, that's just one technique that I use, but just think about this.
That's very
If you
impressive.
use that on yourself every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. You try the same thing and that's the way to do it. I mean, that's very impressive. Oh, I love that. Oh, so that's a secret. So what would you call that? That would be how would
Well, that's one of 7 major influencers that I teach about in Triple Income Academy.
influencers.
And that influences. Yep, it's a method of influencing other people and influencing yourself.
I love it.
Imagine using it on yourself every day. You tell yourself how you're going to behave, how you're going to act. To give you an example, I was on my way to playing basketball this morning. I love working out every day. And, I have a tendency, one of the areas, again, I'm still working on me all the time, is I have a tendency to get sometimes reactive on the basketball court because there's a bunch of guys out there and knuckleheads, and some guys don't play as fair as others. I'm a very fair player, and I get a little upset when people aren't as fair as I am. But I had to set my heart because I don't like to lose my temper, and I don't like to misbehave. I don't like to react. I'd rather just act appropriately. So I had to spend some time praying and commit in my mind to how I was going to be before I ever got there. So I was verbalizing internally what I was committing myself to as far as behavior went before I got on the basketball court. And proud to say, didn't lose my temper, didn't have any problems today. And I have to do that because I've been playing basketball most of my life. And, that's an area that can bring out sometimes the ugliness inside of people, and definitely inside of me sometimes. And that's how I create this better consistency or commitment in my life. be able to act a better way.
Uh-huh.
So it's a
with,
very powerful technique. One of the most powerful techniques that I teach.
I love that. That is really powerful. And then, of course, one question with your technique, you forced yourself to tell yourself how you're going to act on the basketball court with these guys that were cheating you. Did you win? Did you just clean their clock?
Well, it's always a team effort. And my wife always asks me, she goes, "How did you play today?" I said, "You know what? Every day is a great day playing basketball, working out, because it beats not doing it." So, I'm at that age now where if I can just get up and get a good sweat and run real hard, I'm grateful. Some days I score and play well. Other days I'm off. Today was a pretty good day. We did great today. But again, I think it was about.
Regardless of the score, you won. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely.
Right.
So come on, give us some more of those influencers. Those are kind of fun. So you said there were some of you. These are your insider secrets. I like that first one. You tell yourself how you are going to act. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, I'm not going to give any more influencers because I could spend hours talking about that. But let me give you a couple other techniques that I think are really powerful. Number one, if you want to really begin changing your life, spend some time and get clear about what it is you really want.
Yes.
I was actually I was speaking at a group of real estate realtors at a Keller Williams office locally here. There's about 40 people in a room, and I looked at them and I said, "You know what?" I said, I do a weekend, a 3-day workshop on putting people in a room and having them literally write out their success map for life, getting clear about every area of their life. And we make them drill down and get really clear.
Yeah.
It's not a permanent map. It is a working fluid map.
Yeah.
And I tell them, listen, you will pay me $1,000 to come in here and do this, and you'll do it all day long. And there's one simple reason why. You can do it on your own. You're smart enough. You're bright enough. But you won't do it until somebody forces you to do it.
Exactly.
So, again, if you want to do something like that on your own, I encourage you to get it done. But if you can't, you've got to go somewhere and find somebody who will force you to get it done. Get a coach. Get a coach like Diana. Force you to get it done, because the bottom line is, I force people to get it done all the time. I do workshops. I do one-on-one for people. One-on-one's very expensive because I got to fly out there, spend 3 days one-on-one with somebody. Those are people who have money, who want to hire and they want to get a great coach that's going to hold their feet to the fire.
Yes.
But the bottom line is you got to get clear about what it is you want, because you can't get what you want until you know what it is.
Absolutely.
You can always change. You can always modify, because here's what happens. My experience is this. Once people begin to write things down and they work with a good coach like you, or they work with me out here or anywhere, the coach helps them get to that achievement point. Now all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, I just achieved my goal. What do I do now? Well, we got to set a new one. We got to go past that.
Absolutely.
And people will reach goals faster than they ever imagined before once they're clear about what it is they really want.
This is...
So that would be a big, big golden nugget right there. Get clear first about what you want. Now, again, anything I tell people, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. But it doesn't take away from how powerful it is.
Yeah.
Even though it's simple, it is extraordinarily powerful.
Absolutely.
Here's another one I'll give you. I don't know how much time we have, but I call this the cornerstone of my entire program. This is the one formula that changes it all for everybody. It's called ITAR. I-T-A-R. ITAR. Now, ITAR is an acronym. And what I'm going to do is going to teach you a formula, and I'm going to begin from the back of the formula, from the end, and work our way to the beginning. It's reverse of how we were taught in math. So I'm going to take the letter R, and R stands for the word results.
Results.
Everything in life right now is a result. How much money you have or you don't have. What your relationships are like or what they're not like. How about your spiritual life or your health? All of those things right now are results.
Results.
A result. A lot of people have they're judging themselves like, I'm no good at relationships, or I'm terrible at saving money. Forget about judging yourself. Right now, you are where you're at, and it's nothing more than a result. And we can change that result.
Results.
You want to get changed? Let's go back to the word before it. A. A stands for actions.
Actions.
Every time you create an action, your action produces a result. Multiple actions over time produce our cumulative results.
Exactly.
So if we've been saving our money investing it wisely, over time, we're going to create massive wealth. If we've been spending every dollar we have, in fact, even a little bit more than what we have, we will continually be in debt. We will never have wealth, financial wealth.
So true.
Actions, right? So if you don't like your results, change your
actions.
Okay? Now, what drives us to take action? And the letter is T. And T stands for your thoughts.
Oh, I love
And I want
that.
you to think about your dominant thoughts. What dominates your thinking will create your actions. Now, give you an example. In my house, in different places, I have a couple of muscle and fitness magazines. Now, I'm not the the biggest, bulkiest guy in the world, but I'm reading articles whenever I have a chance. I pick up and I scan through an article on something that stimulates me to think about my workout. When after I play basketball, I go and lift weights. So it gives me some ideas on new ways I can lift and new things I can put into my routine.
Your thoughts.
And it stimulates my thinking.
Yes.
It elevates my thinking to a place that allows me to think about becoming more fit.
Yes.
So my thoughts will drive my actions. My actions create my results. Now here's the real big one.
Good
the letter
stuff, Doc. Good stuff, Doc.
This is the big one, and this is the one where I want everybody out there, I want you to listen. You have control almost exclusively over everything in this area, and it's called your influences.
Your influences.
Now, your influences. What books you're reading or not reading. Are you spending time in prayer or not spending time in prayer? Are you going to your church or your synagogue? Or where are you going to do your worship? Where are you hanging out? If you're hanging out at McDonald's, you're going to eat bad food. If you're shopping at Whole Foods or somewhere more healthy, you're going to eat better foods.
That's right.
What kind of people you're hanging out with?
Who are you hanging out with?
And I got to tell you, that's one of the most difficult things for a lot of people to do is to get rid of the stinking thinking that surrounds them all the time.
I love it.
Because some of those people are family, some of those people are close friends.
Yes, they are.
They've got to create a set of environment that will help change the way they think. And when their thinking changes, their actions will change, and results will absolutely change right along with it.
Thinking.
So if you want to change everything, change your influences. Begin there. Watch less TV.
Yes, absolutely.
Every morning when I get up, because now again, this is for me, what I want. I want to set my mind and my heart where I want it to be. So I begin my day before I get out of bed in prayer, because that's important to me. Then I begin by reading in the scriptures. That's important to me. Then I begin reading other areas and doing work. And then I go and I work out. Now on my way to working out, I've got about a half-hour travel time, and I don't want to abuse that time. I want to use it to feed me.
Yes.
So I listen to two things. I listen to, actually one of three things. I listen to Christian music, which puts the right message in my head that I want. I listen to pastors who are preaching, because they're preaching on, I have Sirius Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Or I listen to an audiobook that I already have on my iPhone, and I'm putting inside my head what I want. I'm not listening to anything that I don't want to listen to. And when I'm in the gym working out, I'm not listening to the radio and air. I'm putting in my ears what I want to hear.
On your iPhone.
Because I want my influences to change my thinking.
This is absolutely phenomenal. ITAR. Is that right? ITAR? ITAR.
ITAR.
ITAR. And you
Influences lead to your thoughts create your actions, and your actions give you your results.
Fabulous. We are really being sizzled today by Dr. Ron Eccles. You're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio. And if you don't know Dr. Ron Eccles, it's high time you get to know him. He is a fabulous success doctor. And we'll be right back with more of Dr. Ron Eccles on Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio. Stay with us.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now
now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy with vitamins and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Hi, welcome back. This is Diana Price, and you're listening to an exclusive Diana Price show today with Dr. Ron Eccles. I can't tell you how a thought leader like Dr. Ron is so important in your life. If you haven't heard his delivery today, if you haven't heard his message, I'll see what we can do about getting you in contact with him, because you've missed it. You've really missed a lot. Dr. Ron has been talking about getting you to the finish line. He's been talking all about the nuggets, how you have to get clear about what you do so you can do the things that you want to do to be successful. Welcome back, and so glad you're here. We're here every Tuesday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time on rmconair.com. You can always call us at 323-965-1600 if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to Dr. Ron. So just know that we are here creating conversations about everything that you need and that you've said that you want, and that's more. And he's talking today about more spirituality, more success in your life, more financial, more health, so many awesome nuggets. Welcome back. Dr. Ron, are you still there? Are you still there, Dr. Ron?
I'm still here.
Good. Yeah, I do. I hear you now.
Good.
For a minute, I thought I didn't hear you. So, you have been just plastering on. And if anybody blinked, they missed it. So I just want you to explain your success. First of all, you're a success coach, and people talk about coaches, life coaches, success coaches, coach versus life coaches, and what you do, it really encompasses everything in your life and your business. So how are you distinguishing yourself from a life coach or I don't know, I think you've got it all. You're like you're both. You're both. Is that true?
Well, let's just say that there are many incredible coaches out there. I met you. You're one of them.
Thank you.
And life coaches
are really one of them. Wow.
Life coaches have had to really wrestle with this, because I meet a lot of people who call themselves life coaches, who their lives are personally a mess. And I meet other people who are life coaches who are incredible at what they do. So I'd like to say with anything, there's the really good and the really not so good. And what I had to do is I had to distinguish what I did versus what a life coach does. And here's what I use. And I love analogies. I love to make things that are complicated a little bit more simple. What I figured out was, if people are swimming along in life at the surface of the water, the moment they begin to go under, a life coach's job is to actually help get them back to the surface.
Okay.
Now, that's a tremendous service, and it helps a lot of people out. But that's not where my gift is. My gift is in working with people who are already at the surface level and are ready to take off and go vertical into the atmosphere. And that includes their personal lives and into their businesses. My philosophy is build better you, you'll build a better business.
I love it. Build a better you, and you'll build a better business. That's just, it just gets down to the core. Say that again, Doc.
It's very difficult to do it the reverse.
Yes, it absolutely is. Because what you're talking about is having a conversation with yourself, really getting clear about who you are and digging deep into your authenticity. Because if you're not, like you don't have a conversation with yourself, you really don't know where to go from there. So you as a success coach, you as a coach, you as an individual, you as a person that I call the who's who in your field, and you have everything in all of those seats. The acronym for seats, you're a speaker, you're an entrepreneur, you've been an executive, you've had your own chiropractic practice, you're an author, you're a thought leader. So you really are in a whole different field, Dr. Ron. What you do is so vitally important. And I recall how you touched so many people, so many coaches, so many people that were in your presence in several of the meetings that I've been, the presentations that you were. So how can you, what can you give our audience? And we have an audience of executive, we have an audience of all those people I just described. What can you give to them to make you've already made our lives so much richer just by being here, but some of the things that you do are just so incredible, and you're so witty at it. What can you give what kind of thoughts, what kind of encouragement can you give the people that are wanting to be like you?
Well, I have to say that today, more than any other time in history, people are skeptical. And they're skeptical for right reasons. I mean, we look at our politicians, no matter what side of the fence you're on, we have a hard time believing the people who are running our country or other people in the world who are running other countries and what's going on. So we live in a very time in history that's very unique because people have this natural degree of reservation about who they're going to spend their money with or who they're going to follow or mentor with or whatever it might be. And so here's the greatest piece of advice I have. Number one is, no matter what you do for a living, be authentic. Now, being authentic, I hear a lot of people say this, well, that's just the way I am, and I'm in your face kind of person, and no, that's not being authentic. That's being a jerk, or giving yourself permission to be obnoxious or crude or ignorant is not a good way to live. And there's plenty of things in my life that are crude, ignorant, rude, but I have to work at changing those every single day.
Every day.
Because I was designed for something better. You were designed for something better. So when I say be your authentic self, not only be your authentic self, be your best authentic self. Number two, be transparent. Transparency has to do with not a facade. Nobody wants to get here, hey, I'm super successful and I got all this going on. No, I want to hear your frailties.
Exactly.
I mean, I have 5 children, and Lord, I've gone through issues with those children. I'm still dealing with issues with my kids. And if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. I've had financial difficulties in life. I feel very blessed right now. I'm financially free, but I consider that a blessing. And more than anything else, I have this obligation now to help other people. I mean, I watch commercials and I see different people. I met a woman who's part of a coaching team I'm with now. She's originally from Africa. She lives in New Zealand, and she's got this heart to do things back in Africa to change women's lives because women live such a lower role in life. Men put themselves way above the women, and I'm like, this woman had me crying.
Wow.
And it's because I realized, and I got up and I said to everybody, I said, you know what? I don't know about you, but I've got to do more. God has put me on this planet for a short period of time, and I've got to get stuff done. I got to make an impact and help other people. So
you are
being authentic,
such a blessing.
Being transparent is really important.
Being authentic and being transparent. In other words, you don't want to wear all your credentials on your shoulder and just kind of blast it all the time. That's just so distasteful. So, how can people work with you, Ron? What can we do to get more of you? Because you are just all that and more.
Well, I have a website called ConquerMyEverest.com. And Conquer My Everest is about how to conquer the big mountains that are in front of you in life for most people. And I believe that if you have the right plan, the right tools, the right tactics, the right strategies, the right techniques, you can conquer just about anything.
Yes, you can.
And what I do is I've been coaching now for about 10 years. I have one-on-one clients, and I really can't take too many more one-on-one clients because they're very time-consumptive. It's expensive, and it absorbs a lot of my energy. I have group coaching, which I've kind of almost put on pause for a while because I'm so busy out speaking right now.
So cool.
It's very hard for me to actually have the time, even in the middle of the week, to do it because I'm so busy trying to catch up in between events that I'm speaking at. So I put that on pause. Now, what I do have here is, I think, is one of the greatest ways people can access every tactic, every tool, every strategy, every technique that I teach my elite clients that pay me up to $36,000 a year. to have one-on-one time with me. And you don't have to pay anywhere near that to get all that information. What I did was a couple years ago, I went back and I started building out every tool, every strategy, every technique, every tactic that I taught and I used, and I recorded all of it in a systemized way that people can actually create the success in life they want from the beginning to end. But it begins by building out the right foundations. That's what it's all about. When you build a solid foundation for success, you can have any success you want.
Yes.
And that's what I call it the rock solid success system.
The rock solid success system.
Everything I'm talking about is in there and 1,000 times more. It's like what I talked about today on steroids.
Yay!
Now, if you go to my website, Diana, conquermyeverest.com.
We've got that up on the screen.
It's an online membership program. In other words, so as long as you have access to a computer, a tablet, a smartphone, you can access it, get in there and listen and go through all the information over and over again as many times as you want. There's close to 20 hours packed of teaching, techniques, strategies, tools, tactics on everything that I know of. And if you go online and you sign up and invest in it today, you will pay $997. Now, I'm going to do this for the first 10 people, and this is there's no gimmicks here. Again, transparency, authenticity. Because of you, because you're my friend, for the first 10 people to take action, what I'm going to do, you have to send me an email. And when you send me the email, I will set you up with that online program for $299. Now, that's 70% off.
That's so incredible.
I can do that in small increments because it just makes it easier for me to do it.
Yeah.
I give your audience kind of a bonus for taking action against the first 10 people to go take action right now. Get ready because I'm going to give you my email address. And you got to drop me an email. It's got to be before the end of today. If it's not before the end of today, deal's off. Sorry, you're not an action taker.
Guys, better get this.
Ready? Here we go.
Better get this.
Here's my email address. DRRONECCLES, Dr. Ron Eccles at gmail.com. So it's DRRONECCLES at gmail.com.
It's up on the screen.
For some reason, you can't remember his name. It's the first 6 letters of Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament. So it's Dr. Ron Eccles at gmail.com.
I love you.
Take action.
I love you. That is so cool. Hey, you guys, we have Dr. Ron Eccles at gmail.com up on the screen. Look at it. Go run. Don't walk. Run over and get that. Do you know how many nuggets that you're getting? This guy
It's only for the first 10.
It's only for the first 10.
Only for the first 10.
That's it.
So they got to take action right now.
Take action right now. This is so cool. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the nuggets. What an amazing amount of information, of valuable content, of powerfully inspiring people all over this nation. You know, I wish we could follow you on all of your speaking engagements, Dr. Ron. I wish we could just follow you all around. Thank you so much for being an awesome friend. Thank you for being a powerful, powerful success coach and an amazing doctor. Keep doing what you're doing. We need a lot more of you on this planet. Any parting words before we go off the air? Anything you want to tell our audience one more time?
Yes, I want to make one more plug. Is that okay? It's
Absolutely.
A shameless plug.
Go.
This plug is if you're looking and you're anywhere in the California area, you're in the LA market, you're anywhere out there, and you want a great coach. I know a great coach out there. She's got a beautiful smile. Her name is Diana Price. She's in front of me right now.
Oh, thank you,
You guys are not plugging into her, and you're not hiring her to work with you. You are missing out. So you got to take action and get the best. Diana, I love you. For the first moment, my wife and I met you. You were radiant. You walk into a room, and the room lights up. You know, there's 2 kinds of people in this world: people that light the room up when they walk in, and people that light the room up when they walk out. You're the first group.
Ron, you are just at the top of my list all the time. And I'm so glad I got a chance to share you with my viewers. And you got to come back. You got to come back again and again and again. So I look forward to more interaction with you. And the first 10 people, if you guys aren't on it, you're missing out. Thank you so much for being with us today. And Race to the Finish Line with Dr. Ron Eccles. Go check him out. Conquer My Everest. Is that right? ConquerMyEverest.com.
That's correct.
Okay.
MyEverest.com.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week, next Tuesday, on Diana's Spicy Business Talk, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time on RMCOnAir.com. Also streaming live on SpicyBusinessTalk.com. Have a great week.